So y'all, my great grandmother Jeanette, who one of my middle names is after my mama grandma, she was born in Louisiana. She was born in the Acadian district. Growing up, she always told us that her father looked like a white man, but that he was not. He had blue eyes. My mama was born with the same blue eyes. His name was Elijah Carter. So we are just going to historically state that he was clearly a Cajun man. They lived in Acadia. And we know that the Cajuns are French Huguenots whom began to leave France. Some of them went into Canada. And then after they left Canada, they came into Louisiana to become the Cajun that you see on today. It can also be assumed that based off of his blue eyes, he could have been part of the passing French population who went down into Haiti first. So he could be an Igbo. We know that blue eyes are seen highest amongst people with dark skin. And this conglomerate is seen the most in Haiti. And now people want to state that this is because of the Polish, the Sephardic Jews that came over into Haiti, but this is not true. France was wholly populated by Negroes. When we began to look into World War I, World War II, Hitler began to state that France was responsible for nigrifying Germany. And so when we begin to look at this gene with the blue eyes and dark skin, it is highly seen amongst Creoles. And so, Haitians. And Haitians speak Creole and they begin to say, no su Creole. So we gonna say that my great-great-grandfather was either Creole or Cajun. And the only reason we would end up saying Cajun is because of the district that he lived in Louisiana, and the reason that we would say Creole is because of the blue eyes. But at the end of the day, we know that he's of French descent, and either way it goes, it's the same people group, just split up into different exiles. So when we begin to look at his wife, Rosa Walls Willis, she was described by my great-grandmother as a chocolate woman. And when we begin to look at my great auntie Maple, she's so fine, y'all. She's the dark-skinned sister, and she's the one who Grandma Nat always said that Aunt Maple looks like her mother. So Aunt Maple took after her grandmother. These branch, they were Choctaw Native Indians, okay? So you have a Choctaw Native Indian who was a dark-skinned woman marrying a passing man with blue eyes who was of French descendant. And then you begin to have my grandmother, who was a clearly Choctaw Creole Cajun woman. She ended up marrying Henry Willis. So her mother's last name, Walls and Willis, they were interchangeable, but she had both last names, was already of the Willis family. And then my grandmother married back into the Willis family, which would bring us Henry Willis, who was my grandmother's father. So Henry Willis and Jeanette Willis. When we look at Henry Willis, his father's name is John Willis. And John Willis, y'all, he's a Choctaw Native Indian, but he came over from England into Sharkey, Mississippi. And this is where my mother was born. My mother was born in a house in Sharkey, Mississippi. And when you look at John Willis, he was married to a woman by the name of Mary Elabona Suki Willis, Choctaw Native Indians. And as you begin to go up their family line, it went into Tubbee, Tubbee. These are the chiefs, these are the princes, these are the princesses of the Choctaw Native Indians in Louisiana and in Mississippi. It's very interesting to me because in Mississippi, the Choctaw Native Indian band, I reached out to them about 3 years ago, after my mother passed away, and it was a guy who's a Mongoloid with the same last name, Willis, right? And so I'm emailing him, I'm sending him all my documents. And he was like, you have to have somebody that was living here after 1940. I said my mother was living there after 1940. My mother was born in a house in Sharkey, Mississippi in 1965. The same place where her great-grandfather, John Willis, who's a Choctaw Native Indian from England, was last known to be alive. And you have all of my records. Y'all think he ever emailed me back? No, he did not. He did not. And it's fine, because that's what footwork is for. It's a young lady who began to reach out to me. And as soon as I saw her, I'm like, oh, she got full eyebrows. She looked white, right? But I'm looking at her features. She got full eyebrows, the same nice, cute little pointy nose, full lips, high cheekbones. And these, now my eyebrows came from my Choctaw Native Indian side on my father's side of the family. But my pointy nose, that would be like my Auntie Gloria nose. It's like, it's not as birdish as hers, but my Auntie Gloria is my mama big sister. The cheekbones, that's definitely the Choctaw Native Indian from my mother. The full lips, we're gonna get it to my daddy all day. That's, you know, it wasn't from my mama. But you know, you can look at people and tell when they have certain ancestry. The slanted eyes, now I have holiday eyes, but y'all see the eyes, right? And they look really dark, but they're not dark at all. And so when I looked at the young lady eyes, her eyes are blue, and I said, whoa, my mother was born with blue eyes. She got the blue eyes from her grandfather, Elijah Carter. So when she reached out to me, same last name, I'm already looking at her. I'm like, okay, so clearly we related some way, somehow, even if we can't find out how. Y'all, this young lady has all of her records and everything, and she went to go register as a Choctaw Native Indian in Louisiana that's known for passing people, and they told her that she was too white to do so. And I know some of y'all gonna be like, well, so what? We had white people come over and co-opt in the Native. I want to let y'all know that them people that y'all were force-fed to believe that they were just white people, those were Sephardic Jews and Moors. Those were Israelites who had been in Europe since the beginning of Europe, because the Igbos, the Igbo, the Abo, they founded Europe. Europe was named after them. And in 1722 BC, during the Assyrian captivity, they ended up going back into Europe. And so when you begin to look at my Irish ancestors who ended up being forced out of Spain and Portugal into Ireland, these are the same people that the movie Sinners was about. They were forced into Mississippi. They were forced into the West Indies. So that's where my West Indian ancestry began to come from Montserrat. And then they were end up leaving Montserrat, going into Toronto, and going into Mississippi. And so it's very essential to know that the Choctaw Native Indians are known to be red people. So this is where you will get your Afro-Arab from Esau from. But we also have to know that the tribe of Judah were also described as being red and ruddy. So when we begin to look at the Irish and the Red Hand of Ulster, that specific tribe in Ireland were also known to be the tribe of Judah. So when all of these people came in and they saw the same type of celebrations taking place, it's because that there is a great bloodline connection. This young lady also has red hair, but I'm going to have to ask her if that's her natural hair color, because we know the Irish, the Choctaw, who off the bam have red, ruddy hair. My hair has a nice red tint to it. So yeah, y'all, this is just some history on how many phenotypes can present itself in the black family. And it don't be by marriage, it be by direct bloodline. It's also important for you, quote unquote, African Americans to know that the freedmen, meaning descendants of slaves who married amongst the Choctaw, were given freedmen cards. Your ancestors did not require a freedman card because they were sovereign to this land. So I would take it up on myself, if I was all of us, to start studying on common law versus a lot of things that's going on, and just do some deep digging and deep diving into your ancestry, because there's a lot more than meets the eye. And me as a Choctaw Native Indian descendant, I know I have a lot of rights.